Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago. Final score, Seattle Seahawks 20, Los Angeles Rams 9. I want to just start off by saying it wasn't for this year. Honestly, historically, it probably was typical Seahawks fashion, but for this year, it really wasn't. That defense for Seattle was the story. I'm looking at the Rams' offensive numbers, and yeah, they made some mistakes, and they didn't get off on the run game as much. But I mean, they didn't look bad. It doesn't look bad enough that they shouldn't have won. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were in the game. It's just the defense in Seattle was swarming, and they would not let up. They would not give a yard. You know, they wouldn't give an inch. And kudos to them. They ended up winning the division tonight. It was pretty entertaining. If you were a Seattle Seahawks fan, because it was just, man, you found something on defense. I mean, I don't know, maybe you just schemed well against the Rams. Haven't seen them before, but I don't know. For me, I feel like that's what we just saw was sustainable, and that's very dangerous. I mean, that's going to be a dangerous combination that Seattle Seahawks defense and that offense. Going into the playoffs for other teams, man, they looked really good.
They did, man, and for me, LA they just didn't have they just weren't going for it. I felt like you got to, like, I understand you had some pressure or whatnot, but you could roll those pockets. You could get some guys open running down the field, but I mean, it was a whole bunch of the running back coming out, standing 5 yards away from the quarterback and dump down. It was Cooper Kupp going up 5-7 yards, tossed there. Woods over there, Reynolds over here, but nobody was going farther than 10 yards. And it's like, I get it, man, but at some point you got to take that shot because that's how you get these guys to back up off your quarterback. Is you take the shot and you make them play their position. You don't let them be down in the box and put the extra pressure on you. You got to start throwing it and start making these guys have to retreat and then getting your running game going. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's props to Seattle there. You know, the middle of the season, I mean, first of the season, you were like, oh, my God, Seattle might go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. And then, bang, you know, that fifth, sixth game, kind of about the same time the Bears started falling off. Mm-hmm. Boom, Seattle was just a doormat, really. And, I mean, outside, you know, of course, DK Metcalf had a highlight every week, but it was never enough to get him the W. But now they've trimmed the fat on that defense. They've tightened it up, and, you know, they're surging right now, and now they've won the division, and they've got a chance to have the number one seed.
The middle of the season, they've escaped with some wins that they probably should have won, but you know that's how the cookie crumbles. You know what I'm saying? You play to win the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I just feel like they were dead in the water. I felt, you know, I didn't feel very comfortable about Seattle. I really thought once they lost to the Cardinals that was going to be it, but they just, you know, they overcame that. They ended up beating the Cardinals, 2 weeks after that loss. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, like I said, to come back and beat the Rams and take the division and looking to take the number one overall seed in the playoffs, at least in the NFC, you know, they're a dangerous team, dude. That defense scares me. That defense right there, like doing what you did to the Rams, it kind of scares me because that Rams team is pretty good. They have weapons on that offense.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Like I said, Seattle has a shot at the bye. So I mean, if Seattle gets the bye and they only got to play 1 or 2 games, then man, they're sitting pretty. But tonight it is snowing in Green Bay. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be gusty. So it might. Who knows, man? Things can happen tonight. You know, anytime that white stuff falls on the ground, it changes things. Those hits take a little more out of you.
We'll see if they dusted the field off. You know, prior to, maybe they just got the lines done. Maybe they got the majority of it off. They had plenty of time to get majority of the snow off the football field.
I looked at the forecast, and it looks like it's going to be, you know, it might not be super heavy snow, but it looks like it will be snowing at least up until the fourth quarter, according to the the geniuses at the Weather Channel. But it's going to be an interesting game tonight, man. Like I said, Derrick Henry, it starts hitting you, and it's 10 degrees. Those hits start hurting, and then you got to put your hands down in the snow and get
a stiff arm from hell.
A stiff arm. The stiff arm that normally throws you 5 yards today is going to send you about 15 when you get done sliding in the snow. So it's going to be a little different. Then you get that stuff down in your jersey, and it's just cold and wet, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. But it's hopefully Tennessee doesn't like curl up because they're not warm weather, but warmer weather anyway. So hopefully it doesn't affect them. They're able to do something because, like they said on the national broadcast today, I mean, now that Seattle beat the Rams, now it's the Rams, the Bears, and I forget who that third team was, but now they're in a 3-way tie at 9-7. Mm-hmm. But the Rams, if the Bears win, next week, the Rams are out of the playoffs. Like it's just mathematically, the Rams could just be not even in the playoffs this year. So hey, they did themselves a huge disservice today by not winning.
I think can they? Is that true?
Yeah, that's what they were talking about in the broadcast. If there'd be a 3-way tie,
okay,
with the Chicago, the Rams, and then there's one other team. I don't remember who that third team was. But anyway, it'd be a 3-way tie, and then somebody has the tiebreaker. Maybe there'd be a 3-way tie, and somebody has a tiebreaker, so that tiebreaker would put the Rams out.
Because the Rams play Arizona, so Arizona would have to beat the Rams.
Right.
And then the Rams would be out.
Yeah.
Really?
So they did themselves a real big disservice today. Now they're praying.
This has been one insane year, to be honest with you. I don't trust anybody in the NFC. Maybe I trust the Packers. I don't know. As far as I think what I'm seeing on the field is real. They do have problems with the running attack. That's been seen. But I feel like in the NFC, any one of these guys could get got. And the AFC, it's a different story. You got a team like the Browns that's going to be tough. You know what I'm saying? You got the Ravens that are sixth. At sixth place in the playoffs. You got the Dolphins that are on, that were killing up. The Tennessee Titans, the Titans are still, fighting for it. They're still in the hunt technically with the Colts. The Colts are sitting. The Colts could be out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming down to it's coming down to the wire. And now with the a lot of the with them only having the first seed getting the bye. That's forcing a lot of other teams to have to play their players. There's no just like, okay, we're going to get number 2. We got it too. No, now you got to win and you got to fight. And there's teams that are fighting, coming up from behind they're putting something together here at the end of the season. And you're having to keep your guys out there. And like I said, depending on what happens tonight, that very thing may happen to Green Bay, and they may have to play some people. Or actually, they're going to have to probably play everybody if they come to Chicago. So. There's a lot on the line in between the game tonight and then next Sunday. So, and the one other thing I would like to mention is, bye Eagles, bye.
Yeah,
get out of here. Go home, go back to Philly. But Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry if I'm the Eagles. I don't think I'm getting rid of Wentz. I think I keep Wentz and I beef up my line.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I like Jalen Hurts.
Man, he didn't.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I like Jalen Hurts in the run. I like Jalen Hurts passing. The guy had over. I mean, the guy's not polished. Like you have to put people around him at least.
Right. That's the biggest thing.
Who do you trust besides Ertz and the other guy Goddard? Goddard, pretty solid. I mean, who's really their most solid receiver? What are you going to talk about? Deshaun Jackson right now? He's got one.
Yeah, well, that he hasn't even been in a game for God knows how many weeks. So you can't rely on him just on being healthy alone.
Yeah,
they need receivers, but I don't know, man. To get trounced by Dallas like that, I'm so happy.
Yeah, the Cowboys won 37-17.
I'm not happy that Dallas won. Believe me, I'd like to see them lose just as much as I like to see Philly lose, but. Today, I like Dallas just a little bit better, but Philly, man, thank God they're gone, and I hope I never see them in the playoffs again.
I love it. I love it. Any type of Philly hate, just send it. Send it.
Yeah, man. Just God. But yeah, I'm ready for tonight, man. I'm ready for this game because, like I said, there's a lot of implications that can make next Sunday real interesting.
It's gonna be fun. All right, yeah. So Green Bay and Tennessee. It's gonna be cold, like you said. You're gonna have a lot of up and down. Up and down, up and down, up and down the field with the running attack. A lot of guys, a lot of bodies are going to be piled up. The risk of injury this week, because you have to win, is higher than the next week. And I'm just like, look at how close everything is.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me is just like, man, I feel like if you get the win here, maybe you shouldn't risk it. I wouldn't want to. I don't. For me, I would like the Bears to beat the shit out of Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm thinking like a Green Bay Packer fan, I want the number 1 seed, but I'm like, okay, what if I'm in number 2? What if I'm solid number 2, and all my guys are healthy going into the playoffs? There's going to be no fans, Luke. What the fuck does I don't think a first the number 1 seed overall this year means a whole hell of a lot if nobody's going to be in the stands. But if you're a team that allows it, I mean, I don't know how the NFL is going to play it for the playoffs. Does it have to be everybody in an even playing field? Should there be no fans for everybody? Every team got to come playoff time? I don't know. But yeah, you got home field advantage throughout. The weather could be a factor. The fans, we know, are probably not going to be a factor. So it's like, I mean, so you're breaking down the weather. What if it's a torrential downpour, in the middle of December or in the middle of January? Excuse me. And now you got fumbles and slips and all this type of other shit. Freezing rain. You know what I'm talking about? And you're risking that too. So I just feel like, I don't know. I would like to keep it like, man, I'd like to keep it real and say I want to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Don't get me wrong. If it happens to be somebody else, oh well. Like, just get the fucking win and let's get on to the playoffs, because I just can't have I can't have an excuse for the Bears this time. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse. The doors are opening up for you. God knows how. You know what I'm saying? It's time to take advantage, regardless of what team is out on the field. You have to be ready for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. You can't be thinking you're going to play the B squad in Green Bay.
Yeah, hopefully, not to wish bad upon anybody, but hopefully maybe Tennessee can get there Aaron Rodgers and put some hits on him and beat him up a little bit, because that's just going to bode well for you guys next Sunday. And then obviously once you stop him, you stop the Packers. But yeah, Devontae Adams he's pretty damn good, and I don't know, is he good, or is he just good with Rodgers? I mean, because so far I've just seen him with Rodgers, and it's unstoppable sometimes. So if Tennessee can clamp down on Devontae,
I don't think it's unstoppable sometimes. I think it's unstoppable all the times at this point.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think Devontae gets that much attention without Aaron. You have a connection, and that's it. That's all. Yeah. He said they work together just better than any tandem in the league, maybe.
Yeah. No, because that's the crazy thing about the Packers is they have a 1 and then they have 4, 5, 6. There's no 2 or 3. It's just like there's Devontae Adams, and then it's okay. Well, you're dressed. Why don't you get out there? Let's see if you can catch one. And St. Brown and Lazard and like all these other guys. It's just like they just plug and place these other guys. But Devontae's he stays healthy and he does his job, man. I mean, it's one of the best duos. I mean, you got to give them credit where credit's due. It's just, with the snow and everything, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how much snow, but it's like, sometimes you feel like that may slow down. And at that point with the snow on the ground, I'm going to give Tennessee the edge, just because Henry's he's not a duker, so he's not going to get shifty and slip. Like, he's literally going to duck his head and run right through your chest. And if you get close enough, he's going to send you over to the other sideline with the stiff arm. So, like I said, it's dicey, man. It's dicey, and it's a hard decision for Green Bay, because let's say you play today and you lose. Then next week you have to play your starters. You have to. and you have to beat the Bears, or else you're out of the number one seed. So a lot can happen in between tonight and next Sunday.
Yeah, a lot can happen. This has been crazy. This has been a crazy. I mean, throughout the league, it's been crazy.
Right.
We got teams losing the number one pick. We got the teams that we thought were dead in the water are now back in the playoff hunt.
Teams that had 0 wins have 2 wins now.
Yeah. EASTvs.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Crazy. That's why I love the NFL though.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, guys. Until halftime of the Green Bay and Tennessee game. I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles. This has been the Basic Monsters Game Day Podcast on SportsZone Chicago.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.